Hey everyone. Today we are going to discuss Shanquella Robinson's rally that occurred today. Also, another video by from her lawyer Sheila Robinson from the other day. So thank you, Kiva. That was just actually a temporary thumbnail. That was temporary. I took that down. But yeah, for anyone who does not know what she's talking about the graphic of Shanquella with the crown. Okay, so sometimes I put up a temporary thumbnail and then I'll later create a real permanent one. Yes, Auntie, yes. Yeah, I love the thumbnail. I'm on my lunch break. If I don't catch the live, peace and love. Hey, so uniquely me. Hi, everyone, and Queen. Let me go back. Oh, what was that? Hey, the red lipstick hustler. Hey, hey, hey. And yes, Auntie, yes. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in the chat. Deborah, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Hey, M. Mac. Afternoon, Louisiana lady. Sandra, good afternoon. Theresa, Dukes, Karen, and Kendall. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so basically, the first video is Shanquella Robinson's lawyer, Sheila Robinson. And she talks about her trip to Mexico because everybody was wanting somebody to go to Mexico because in the Bruce Redmond case, the family had traveled to Mexico. In fact, they spent a great deal of time in Mexico. They spent a great deal of time over there, as well as their lawyer. Okay, so Sue-Ann went to Cabo, and so she states that she also got some information. Okay, so we're going to go over the first video is about her trip to Mexico, and the second video is the rally that occurred today. And if you're not already subscribed to let me scroll back up to my girl Kiva. Come get this commentary right here. She has 2 channels. Come get this commentary, and then of course she has come get this commentary too. She also speaks on some of the same topics I do. Shanquella, I don't know if y'all watch, I think Daddy's Girls or something like that, and also she speaks on Jaguar Right and different topics. So she does commentary on different things, so make sure y'all check out my girl Kiva's channel. And again, she has 2 channels. Hey, Katina. The Panther Queen, my mom. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks for getting things started. Yes, sign the petition. I did notice a jump in the petition signatures. We're at 37,000, and it's probably because of the attention from being Crump and other more people that have more a name to themselves, notoriety. Okay. Which is a good thing, right? Well, I'm so happy to see the support from being Crump, family attorney, and many other support. Wow, look how this turned around. Cabo 60 are all coming for you. Yeah, there's different levels of culpability and responsibility. Justice for Shanquella. Yes, justice for Shanquella Robinson. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
Earlier this week, I spoke with family attorney Sheila Robinson.
It's time for our government to kind of do their part so that the people who are responsible for this crime can be brought to justice.
Mexican authorities claim they're waiting on the U.S. government to extradite an unnamed person in connection to Shanquella's death. The FBI's independent investigation is ongoing.
I'll have much more from our nation's capital this evening, starting on Live at 5. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Brandon Hamilton, WBTV, on your side.
Earlier this week, I spoke with family attorney Sheila Robinson.
It's time for our government to kind of do their part so that the people who are responsible for this crime can be brought to justice.
Mexican authorities claim they're waiting on the U.S. government to extradite an unnamed person in connection to Shanquella's death. The FBI's independent investigation is ongoing.
I'll have much more.
Okay, so I actually need to get the full clip. I need to actually get the full club. So while I'm getting that, let's go ahead and start on the rally video, and then I will get the full one.
Good morning. Is everyone ready? Thank you for your patience. Obviously, this has been a long journey thus far to getting justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
I'm attorney Ben Crump, along with my law partner, attorney Sue Ann Robinson. We have the honor of being joined by the queen of the movement, TAMIKA MALLORY, and Until Freedom with Professor Angelo Pina and my son, the General. We are so grateful that Until Freedom never stopped fighting for Miss Robinson, never. Even when everybody seems to sweep it under the rug, they stayed the course. Also, we have present with us the NAACP president here in Washington, Akoshua, and we have Mario Black from Million Youth March of Charlotte, North Carolina, where Shanquella Robinson hailed from. But most importantly, we have present with us her sister, Quila Long, and her mother, Miss Robinson. You can only imagine what she has endured in these 18 weeks. You can only imagine. And so she's not alone. We're standing with her, and we will never, ever leave her pursuit for justice, because Shanquella Robinson life matters.
That's right. That's right.
And so let's give you just a little background of what got us here today. And I'm so grateful to Attorney Robinson for going above and beyond for Justice Roland Martin. I mean, my law partner did things that make her heroic, not just as a lawyer, but as a strong black woman who sees the humanity in Shanquella Robinson as possibly somebody who could be her own flesh and blood. That's what humanity requires. So thank you, Attorney Sue Ann Robinson, from the bottom of my heart. Shanquella, as we know, was 25 years old. She was from Charlotte, North Carolina. Her date of death is October 29, 2022. She was reported dead on October 29th. Her mom, Miss Robinson, is here. I told you her sister, Quilla Long, is here. It's important to know that Shanquella Robinson graduated from Winston-Salem State University, a great historically black college and university in North Carolina. She was a hairstylist. She owned a clothing boutique. She worked for an insurance agency. And as TAMIKA MALLORY and I just marveled at how wonderful of a person she was, she also braided little black girls' hair. That was her profession. That's what she did every day, all day. And obviously she was an influencer on social media. It has been 126 days since she died. That's 18 weeks.
Wow.
Video footage of her being beaten literally to death was released on November 16, 2022.
Make sure y'all keep on hashtagging Justice for Shanquella, and I do have to stop the video every now and then because I have to give my thoughts or commentary. I cannot just play the video. Hey, Mac, I will read comments after the video. Well, some comments after the video. Hey, Mac. Hey, Devin. Hey, Karen. Darlene. Mondi. Hey. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the video. And yes, it has been too long. Time is flying by, and we do need justice for Shanquella. But yeah, this conference that they had is interesting, and it looks like Child, remember before, Sue Ann Robinson didn't have that much information, and she actually was like messing up on names, and she really wasn't caught up with the case. But child, she has now gotten some information, like even from the investigation. Like, child, looks like Mexico gave her some like inside details, so she has some information. So I definitely will be listening to any interview that she does, because people like they drop when they have information, they might like unknowingly drop information, like little pieces, and y'all know my ears will perk up, right? So pay attention in the video to little details whenever she talks, okay?
108 days ago, 15 weeks and 3 days, and still, with all this visual evidence, nobody has been arrested.
That's right. That's right.
Nobody has been arrested. And as my son, the general, always talks about, Black lives matter, our black children lives matter. And people always try to say, well, you all don't show up when black people get killed by other black people. You only show up if a white police officer get killing a black person. No, that's not it. Oftentimes we can't get the media to cover it, but my son, Until Freedom, our law firm, we have been showing up when black people get killed unjustly, whether it's a white person who killed them or it's a black person who killed them. Because Shanquella Robinson, life matters.
That's right.
Shanquella Robinson, life matters. Shanquella Robinson, life matters. Shanquella Robinson, life matters.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And that's why we will keep on keeping her name alive until she gets justice, right? Hey, Linda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, Sheila. Darlene, hey. Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for supporting my channel. Yes, auntie, yes. I appreciate the support of my channel. And also keep in mind, you can also support my channel for free just by smashing the like button. So let's go ahead and it might be better for Mexico to relinquish justification and give it to the USA. Yeah, early on, I've been saying like it can go either way. It can be where the United States invokes like extraterritorial jurisdiction, or Mexico right now looks like they're giving them permission to take over. And then there's also where they can be extradited. And that's why I was telling Gerardo Zuniga, nothing is set in stone. It's up to the Department of Justice and the FBI which way they want to go.
Shanquella Robinson, life matters. Shanquella Robinson, life matters. In the video, a woman who was identified by witness as Dajanae Jackson is seen brutally beating Shanquella Robinson while she is stark naked. I argue it's just as bad TAMIKA Mallory or worse than how they beat Tyree Nichols to death. I mean, you look at those videos, they are both horrific, inhumane. The travel mates who went to Mexico with her, I mean, you're talking about adding insult to injury. Sabina, the travel mates returned from Mexico to the United States and told Miss Robinson she died of alcohol poisoning. They failed to mention the fight or what we saw in that video, Roland Martin, that Shanquella Robinson had a head injury, that she was attacked, that they were joking about it, texting about what happened in the aftermath of the tragedy. But they never mentioned that to Miss Robinson. We are asking for high level of diplomatic intervention from the President of the United States and the State Department to do what is necessary to bring the person or the people who are responsible for the murder of Shanquella Robinson to justice.
Yes.
Let me repeat that again. We are asking for high-level intervention, diplomatic intervention from the President of the United States and the State Department to do whatever is necessary to bring justice to Shanquella Robinson by the person or the persons responsible for her death.
Now, this is a great thing that they did this in Washington, because now other like media agencies now can report on Shanquella, even like cities and states or places. I mean, like, are places that normally would not report on it because it's in Washington, right? So I did notice that since being Crump and TAMIKA and everyone has been posting about the upcoming rally, that it has garnered, the petition has garnered additional signatures. So that means word is spreading more about Shanquella, which is what we want, right? More people knowing about it, and not just us on social media and YouTube that use YouTube and everything else, but we need people outside of YouTube, people that are like, well, it was also on Facebook, so it pretty much spread all over social media. But you know what I mean? It needs to reach like as many people as possible, and that's why I'm happy that I'm seeing other people report on it outside of Charlotte, because for the most part, a lot of people reporting on it were like Charlotte newspapers and media agencies. Now it's people outside of Charlotte reporting on it. That's what I mean. Is he going to sue the FBI? No, he's just trying to bring attention to the Shanquella Robinson case. He's trying to bring attention to the president and anybody that can affect change. And of course, the Department of Justice and the FBI, basically to just hurry up and give justice for Shanquella. That's what they're pretty much trying to do.
It's not a hard act. When you look at that video, it is not a hard act. And when you think about when white women go missing, it's not a hard act. My colleagues will get more into that later. Now, the family retained us, and my law partner, Sue Ann Robinson, as I said, she went above and beyond.
Okay, a lot of people are saying that the lawyer is just Sue Ann Robinson, but he just said the family retained us. So he's also saying he's including himself. Now, Sue Ann does have her own separate like law firm, but in this case, he's saying that, and she also works with being Crump on cases too, like they it's like a joint effort. So in this case, if you just listen, he said us. So he's also representing the family, not just Sue Ann. Now, Sue Ann is the more vocal one assigned to it, but he's also retained by them as well, which would kind of make sense because like he's traveling to like Washington, D.C. and with them, right? So that makes sense. Good morning, Shell. Good morning, Raw. Oh yeah, okay. Thanks to, who is it? Kimberly, thank you for the cash app. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thanks, girl. And everybody else, like I always say, just hit the like button. That's another way to support the channel. But again, shout out to Kimberly for the cash app. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
The family asked her, and she went on a fact-finding mission to Mexico on their behalf after being advised by us that the Mexican authorities were not doing their job. That's what the U.S. said. The Mexican authorities were not doing their job in regards to investigating this crime. And so, you know, for black people to get justice often in America and certainly abroad, we have to go above and beyond. And Sue Ann Robinson went above and beyond. I mean, this sister, she went down to Mexico for a week. I mean, had threats to her safety. She's a mother of two beautiful little girls, but she saw that she could not justify staying safe and playing it safe while Miss Robinson's daughter had been killed. So Sue Ann Robinson deserves all the credit in the world for going down there and getting the evidence necessary for us to come here today and to say to the department that it is clear Mexico has advised that their investigation is complete. They have identified a suspect. That suspect is currently out free in the United States of America, and that is not right that the suspects and the people involved are sleeping comfortably in their own beds at night. If they are guilty of a crime, then the United States government should do one or two things.
So pay attention. He said they have identified a suspect. Okay, so that means one person. So they're still saying that direct aggressor, one person. Okay, and they actually give a name during this, but I'm not going to say it now because I'm just going at the pace of the video. One person is who they are identifying now. However, of course, they still plan on looking into whoever, like, of course, any cover up or omission. But right now, they're still focused on that one direct aggressor.
One, they should either extradite the person who murdered Shanquella Robinson to Mexico to face the charges and the crimes that have been alleged against her. Or two, they should take jurisdiction. Mexico is willing to give jurisdiction to the United States.
And like I said before, that's what I kept saying, that there is not set in stone where the venue for this case will be held at. And that's what I like. Gerardo Zuniga, he kept on trying to scratch that. It's Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. It can be either way. No one knows for certain right now. So we just have to wait to figure out which way it's going to go. But I do know, and I already knew ahead of this time, that the FBI is slow. I already knew the FBI was just slow. And I already knew it how, because of the Bruce Redman case. They are super slow, the FBI working with the DOJ. And now with the family and the lawyers and everything else, this is more starting to look like the Bruce Redman case. And to be honest, things started to pick up more when lawyers started getting involved and started to have press conferences. It started getting like picking up more pace. But even then, it still took like 7 months for progress, right?
To bring a case for those responsible for killing Shanquella Robinson to justice. And the only question is, State Department, President Biden, what are you going to do to bring justice for this broken-hearted family, especially this mother of Shanquella Robinson? It's not a hard ask.
That's right.
Either extradite the killer or take jurisdiction so you can prosecute the killer.
That's right.
It's simple. And so my co-counsel is going to go into details with you, and then you're going to hear a couple of people, especially my sister TAMIKA MALLORY, who is going to make the case even more plain, because we can't have different justice systems depending on the ethnicity of the victim. We can't have one set of justice for white women and another set of justice for black women. We got to have one justice system for the United States of America. And so that's why Attorney Robinson deserves just so much credit for going to get the evidence that is necessary for us to now make the case for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella.
Okay, is your name pronounced Dajhanae or Donette? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing right. Well, they already have something similar, which is called the extraterritorial jurisdiction, where they can prosecute Americans that commit crimes that are at least under the treaty between Mexico and the United States. So they have that already, but it's called extraterritorial jurisdiction. Yes, make sure you use this hashtag on all platforms. Hashtag Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Hashtag Shanquella Robinson on all platforms. Hey, Orissa Bay.
Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Now you're going to hear from my partner, attorney Sue Ann Robinson. Y'all give her a big round of applause. This sister here, I'm so proud to work with her.
Thank you everybody for joining us. I want to first and publicly, which I do every day, thank Mrs. Robinson and, Quilla for putting their shoulder to the plow to seek justice on behalf of Shanquella Robinson. I'm thanking them for doing something that so often only Black and brown families have to do. They have to grieve their loved one. They have to adjust to normalize their life with the loss of their loved one. And at the same time, they have to become part of a movement, part of a club that no one asked to be in. They have to beg for dignity and respect in death. They have to seek justice on behalf of their loved ones. They don't have the privacy to grieve and do those things in private. So I want to thank them publicly for turning their pain into purpose and for giving me the honor of assisting in their case. We've been doing this for a very long time. Black women have been having to come to the front lines against oppression because of our intersectionality. We're Black and we're females. And so based on that alone, we have a unique set of oppressions we have to deal with and fight against since Mamie Till. And I stand today on her shoulders, on the shoulders of all the Black women who have to grieve publicly in order to push the most important work of our time forward, which is that we would receive equal treatment. That's right. That we would also receive equal justice under the laws of the country that we're born in. Shanquella was a beautiful, adventurous entrepreneur. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to know her in life. But getting to know her in death has changed my life. And no one should have to suffer the indignities that she did. We deserve to live peaceful lives, enjoy vacations, and die old, peaceful deaths. Being on the ground in Mexico on a fact-finding mission was surreal. I'm an attorney. I went to law school. I know what the laws are. I'm a former prosecutor. I know what the Department of Justice can do if someone flees from justice. So for me, on behalf of this family, to have to physically go and seek justice on their behalf was unreal. In another country, with another language. Going to those places, going to the police station, going to the Attorney General's office, going to the Mexican Red Cross, going to the office of the doctor that attended to her, going to the actual villa and the places where she walked, where she spent her last moments, trying to find answers for this family was absolutely unreal. Nobody should have to do that for something that is equal and fair. They're not asking for anything special. They're not asking for anything unique. They're asking for their government to intervene in a case and take jurisdiction for a crime that we all saw unfold on video.
That's correct.
My Lord.
The most important thing from the case going to Mexico, I learned two things. One, that Quilla and Mrs. Robinson are creating their own path to find justice in an international case because there isn't a path to get information, to find out what's happening on your case, to find out what happened to your loved one. There is no such path. Right. They are creating the path. That's right. And number two, most importantly, because they were being ping-ponged between the U.S. authorities and Mexican authorities. They got sick of it. No one was returning their phone calls. Yep. Mexican authorities confirmed that they have completed their investigation. We've had the opportunity to review some of the packet.
Now that is true. Mexico definitely does not really return phone calls. It's really hard to reach people. And I was in fact told by internal affairs over Daniel De La Rosa Anaya's office that you will have to come in person. So yeah, a lot of things there you go in person and to get something done or to be able to have a meeting with somebody. And I call like Daniel De La Rosa Anaya's like office a million times and no one ever really picks up that number. So that's why I know it's probably where you do have to go in or have like some kind of connection.
And it has been sent. The ball is clearly in the United States court. The State Department, the Department of Justice, the ball is in your court. That's right. Do what you have to do. In Mexico, we went to the U.S. consulate, who is supposed to be the liaison and the protection for American citizens abroad. We got no such warm greeting. We got no such constitutional rights. We got no such assistance, liaison information. In fact, we were almost impeded and advised that if the family needed more information, they should talk to the 6 travel mates that went to Cabo with Shanquella.
Outrageous. Who was the accessories to the murder.
Now that's crazy. Now, but to be honest, I am not shocked. I am not shocked at all.
Right. Outrageous.
The level of disrespect to Shanquella Robinson's dignity, even in death, is unreal. We had to go ourselves to the Attorney General, explain to them, hey, we're not just trying to show up here. We tried to follow the protocol, but we're not going to leave without any information. And we were assisted by the Mexican authorities who advised the ball is in your court. We've sent everything over to Interpol. We've sent everything over to the FBI. They advised that the case is a top priority for them. I haven't been advised of that by the State Department here at all. Have you guys been told that? Okay. The issue now is that there has to be a high level of diplomatic intervention. And I say high level to be tongue-in-cheek because, to be honest, the highest level is right here. That's why we're here. President Biden, the head of the Department of Justice, the State Department, you've all got calls from our office. And no answers. You've got letters. Let's do what's right by Shanquella Robinson, and let's always do what's right by Black women.
Yes.
That's right.
I work every single day in what I call the most important work of our time because I would like this job to become obsolete. I would like to have to stop coming before the press and begging for dignity and respect on behalf of my Black clients. Put us out of business, please. President Biden, Department of Justice, State Department, International Affairs, it's on y'all.
That's right.
And we're waiting right here until justice is served for this family. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. That's right. Great. Great.
Thank you so much, Attorney Sue Ann Robinson. And it should not be that our office has to step in and try to do the work for the United States Department of Justice or the State Department itself. So heartfelt. I can only imagine you being in the villa after seeing that video and again, like Attorney Robinson said, TAMIKA, Mallory, and Sue Ann Robinson, it has been strong black women leading this effort. And I think that's important because we have to step up for our people. If nobody else will step up for us, we got to step up for our people. And so my sign is never lost on me that they try to say we only show up and show out when it's white people who kill us. No, when anybody kills us unjustly, we stand up for justice. And so the President of the United States, the State Department, the Justice Department has to do those two things. Either they're going to extradite the killer of Shanquella Robinson or they're going to take jurisdiction. It is that simple. And we won't take one day off of demanding our allies at the White House or anywhere else that we stand up for black people getting justice, even if it's inconvenient for you.
That's right.
Even if you think it's a nuisance for you. Well, we don't think Shanquella Robinson was a nuisance. We don't think that she was insignificant. We don't think that she was irrelevant. And we don't think that she was inferior. She was a strong, brilliant black woman, the best that we had to offer the world. And that's why we're going to continue to fight for justice for Shanquella Robinson. And we're so happy that we have all type of organizations, civil rights organizations, standing on the front line with us. I have the honor of having President Akoshua Ali of the Washington chapter of the NAACP come and present to you in this fight for justice. President Ali, thank you.
Yes, I'm not going to discuss the owner of Cabo Villas, the villa, until it's official and 100% confirmed who is the owner. So once he actually posts information, I'll actually then check it out and verify it before I even discuss it.
For your leadership.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, good morning. Again, my name is Akoshua Ali. I am the president of the NAACP Washington, D.C. branch, and I first want to extend our condolences to the family for your loss, and then also thank and commend Attorney Benjamin Crump and his amazing team, and my sister, TAMIKA Mallory, both of whom have been iconic civil rights leaders continuing to champion this fight for racial equality and justice. As we stand at the beginning of Women's History Month, it is appalling that we have to lift up not only the mantra that Black lives matter, but Black women matter. And in this country, we cannot continue to allow the double standard of how Black women are victimized and are undervalued compared to how white women who have also been victimized and murdered but are championed and glorified by the media and their lives are valued more. If this country is truly to embody what it stands for, what our ancestors lived for, what our ancestors bled and died for, we have to represent that in all aspects of our systems, our criminal justice systems, our law, and international and diplomatic relations. So I charge you all, as we stand on the shoulders of not only Black women, but all people who have fought for social justice and equality in this country, to use your voice, stand in your power, and demand justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Thank you so much, President Ali, for your great leadership. Next, we are going to have a woman who really, in all regards, represents the queen of the social justice movement taking place in America today. We grew up together fighting for Trayvon Martin and everybody in between, and now we land here at Justice for Shanquella Robinson. She is the epitome of black women leadership in America today as we stand in front of the National Council of Negro Women. And her and Sue Ann Robinson, y'all know sometimes I get a little busy, but these sisters, they will not ever let us forget that all our black people life matter, and we can never forget that black women matter even more when we think about how disrespected and neglected they have been in history. And so the person who continue to remind us we're gonna fight just as hard for our sisters as we fight for our brothers on a daily basis here in the United States and abroad is none other than Until Freedom co-founder, my sister, the queen of the movement, TAMIKA MALLORY.
Good morning. First of all, let me just say thank you all so much for showing up today. This family needs support. It is all too often that when black women are harmed, people don't show up. We fight against that. It is a struggle that we deal with in this movement often, that we cannot find people to stand solid and to continue to show up months and months and months later as these situations unfold. So I want to thank those who drove up from North Carolina. Yes. I want to thank all of you who've come out today to be here and to be present for Shanquella Robinson's family. I also want to thank my co-founders of Until Freedom, Attorney Angelo Pinto, my son Lennon, and Linda Sarsour for taking my leadership, which oftentimes I come to them with a lot of crazy things, and they listen and they back me up and they support me. And if I say this is an issue that we need to get involved with, we do it for all of us. We do it for one another. But specifically, I want to say as a black woman in this organization that I appreciate that they take it seriously to stand up for justice for black women. I truly do take it as it is on my behalf. You know, this is not a difficult thing to understand, as Attorney Crump has said. It is not complicated.
That's right.
There was a woman, forget about being a black woman, a woman was beaten to death on camera, and she returned from a vacation with her neck and back, her spine broken.
Outrageous.
It's very simple. We saw an attack.
Yes.
It'd be one thing if you did not see a video, and perhaps we could come up with some other explanation for what happened to her. But in this case, what we see is very clear. She was beaten to death.
That's right.
And if she wasn't beaten to death, somebody needs to tell us exactly what happened.
Come on, tell us.
And there are 6 people who were there who know the answers, and they need to be present somewhere where they are being asked and demanded of the truth.
Say that.
Particularly the person who we saw, and I want to correct something that has been said, and I am asking every single person from the media to be careful about the narrative.
Come on.
I know that my brother Roland Martin will be careful about this, and I'm asking all of you. There was not a fight.
Come on.
There was no fight that took place in that house. There was an attack against one person. We did not see a fight. In fact, we hear the other individuals on the video asking her whether or not she was willing to fight back for herself as they joked while she was naked. And she tells them clearly, no, she does not want to fight. And they continue to allow her to be beaten, and then her neck and spine was broken, and she returned home to her family in a box. That is what happened.
Come on.
It is not complicated.
Come on.
So as my sister, Sunshine Anderson from Charlotte, North Carolina, who couldn't be here but has been a great supporter of this family, would say, when you tell us it's complicated and there's issues, we've heard it all before. And we don't want to hear it anymore.
That's right.
We want to see that there is movement, action, that something happens for Shanquella Robinson. Forget about her being a black woman. She is a woman and she is a United States citizen. And we know what you can do.
Say that.
We know what you can do.
Say that.
Let me tell you why we know what you can do. Because we've seen you do it before.
That's right.
When Natalie Holloway went missing in Aruba, America stopped. It stood still. Even I stood still.
Come on.
We shared the information. When the White House had press conferences, they were asked questions about her. The media would not let it die.
Come on now.
Natalie Holloway was in our homes every day, and she should have been. And so should Shanquella Robinson.
Say that.
And so should Shanquella Robinson.
That's right.
I want to thank my dear sister, Rabbi Bara Elman. Come on over here, Bara Elman. The rabbi has come down to show that this is not just about black women. This is about all women. And that we must all stand together in saying that enough is enough of this country disrespecting our people and disrespecting humanity. The question that I have for President Biden, for Merrick Garland, the head of Department of Justice, the question that I have for the head of the United States State Department, what would you do if it was your child?
Come on now.
What would you want to see happen in this country if it was your child who was beaten to death on camera without clothes? Imagine that her family had to watch a video of their baby, their sister, being beat to death with no clothes on and no support. What would you want President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, what would you want as a black woman if you saw your sister being beaten like that? How would you move? What calls would you make? What would you expect in terms of the answers that this family has not been provided? They have been told that there's no information that can be given to them, but that they will get a call back. No family wants to hear that. They should be invited on a regular basis to conversations where it is clear what this country is doing. Now, some will say, I'm sure, when they start with their narrative, they are going, I see it's raining and we're going to be quick. They will say that they're doing a lot. But the problem is that this country does not have a good reputation of protecting black women. And so therefore we cannot take your word for it. We want to see it with our eyes and hear it with our ears. We want the same attention that other white women have received. And in fact, we are calling it the white women missing treatment. We want to see that put in action for Shanquella Robinson. Move expeditiously. Use your resources and be intentional about justice for this young sister. Because as you know, we will not go away. We didn't leave Breonna Taylor's family, and we will not leave Shanquella Robinson's family.
Amen. Thank you, TAMIKA. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if one person does not want to like fight or participate in a fight, people usually break it up or because they don't see a point of just watching it, right? But yeah, that is a good point that we always have to keep in mind. And we have, for the most part on social media, we have already been saying this, that we don't refer to it as a fight. We always say that it was a brutal attack. So we have been great about that on social media, right?
And we know it's starting to rain, so we're going to move expeditiously. Let's get an umbrella over mom and sister here. And we're going to have quickly Mario Black come and present from Charlotte, North Carolina, been fighting on the front line. Black Millions Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury. Mario Black.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mario Black, founder of Million Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury, an organization birthed in Charlotte. That stand with families during their times. I made a vow in December when we had the official rally at Little Rock AME Zion Church. Pastor Dwayne Walker and Lady Walker opened their doors for us to have the rally. I made a vow to this family that day that I would stand with them that day until moving forward. December, we had the rally. January, we celebrated her birthday, 26th birthday. 2 weeks ago, we mailed letters to Washington, D.C. We mailed letters to Mexico, 1,000 pink envelopes to Washington and to Mexico.
Okay, for those who need a reminder, this is Mario Black. He is the one that organizes all the events in North Carolina. From the route, he's just named all of them. Okay, so he's the organizer. So that's Mario Black.
Demanding justice for Shanquella Robinson. We want justice. President Obama, Vice President Kamala Harris, let's make it happen. This is what this family needs. This is what this family wants. And when I was reached out to 2 days ago about being here today, I said absolutely. So I thank you, TAMIKA, my sister, TAMIKA Mallory. We're getting to know each other, love her to death, love her mission. To my brother Ben Crump, thank you for everything that you do. No justice, no peace. Arrest the Cabo Six. Say what? No justice, no peace.
Arrest the Cabo Six.
No justice, no peace. Arrest the Cabo Six. Thank you so much, Mario Black, for your great leadership.
Yes, sir.
And
one thing I have to say is that Mexico told the family that they have done their part of the investigation and theirs is complete, right? And they're just waiting on the United States. So if theirs is complete, how come they have not issued additional warrants, arrest warrants? Okay, so you say that you will also arrest people that are a part of omission or cover-up, accomplices. So that's before the fact and after the fact, right? So if your investigation is complete, you should have already reached a conclusion on who else needs to be arrested. Oh, yeah. It's because, most likely because under the treaty for Mexico and the United States, there's only certain crimes you can be extradited for. So maybe, I will have to look into this. I didn't think about that before. There's only certain crimes you can be extradited for. Murder is one, so definitely the femicide, because femicide is murder. I already went over that. But accomplice and cover up an omission to murder is kind of secondary. This is something to look into. But I do know that if you already completed your investigation, you should have all your suspects and all the people you want to charge. So it's weird that you say it's complete, but it's only one arrest warrant and you're still seeing one suspect.
now we're going to hear from Miss Robinson, the mother of Shanquella Robinson, and then as we bow, my attorney Robinson, attorney Paige White, Monique Press, everybody on our legal team, we're going to go and present the evidence to the Department of Justice, and we're going to demand justice for Shanquella Robinson. Right. It's that simple. Right. And so please give your attention to the mother of Shanquella Robinson as she bears her soul to you.
The thing about it, whatever Mexico has given the family and the family's attorney, Sheila Robinson, most likely, more than likely, should I say, the Department of Justice and FBI already have the same information. However, since the family gives what they have, should I say, handed over, it would be more like a symbolic meaning to it, because more than likely the FBI and DOJ already has everything from Mexico. And I think I heard they said Mexico already sent over what they had. So it'd just be more like a symbolic meaning, like, hey, we see what's in this file. We know what you have. We know what Mexico has said. And we know that now it's your turn to make a move. So it's more like that. But they definitely are not just handing over something that the FBI and DOJ doesn't already have. It's like saying, we know what you have and we have it too. Well, not everything, but yeah. Oh, wow. I would love to see everything, but I'm actually surprised Mexico gave them any information because it's an ongoing investigation, and usually they don't do that. But I guess because she was the lawyer, they went ahead and gave her some information. I don't know.
My name is Salamandra Robinson. I am the mother of Shanquella Robinson. I am here in Washington.
Sue Ann Robinson says she has not seen the warrant, just the evidence. That's what I mean. Okay, well, not really, because she knows who's on the warrant. They have already told Sue Ann who the suspect is. Okay, so they already said it's Daejhanae. Okay, so she has seen the evidence, and they have also told her the name of the suspect they want with the warrant. Okay. Mexico can change the name of the charges to fit the treaty. They saying femicide is not in the treaty. I don't believe in that. Again, I don't believe in that because femicide is murder, and murder is under the treaty.
DC today asking for answers about what happened for my daughter. I don't wish the terrible nightmare on anyone. My daughter was brutally beaten on a video. She was undressed, and there was many people that could have helped her. They laughed and joked instead. Shanquella came back from a vacation dead with a broken neck and a spinal. I can hardly talk about it. Since November the 16th, no one has been arrested. The people who knew what happened to my daughter are living their lives. They have returned to work, and my family is left to wait and to beg for answers. I am here as an American citizen to ask our president and everyone with the power to get justice for my daughter to help me. Please help me and my family.
And we will help you, Miss Robinson. Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
Guys, make sure you keep on her name alive, but keep on using the hashtag Justice for Shanquella, and also hashtag Shanquella Robinson, and also hashtag Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Oh, let me go over Sandra's comment again. Mexico can change the name of the charges fit the treaty. I would have to look over all the crimes, but I don't really think some of those things can actually fit under the treaty. And as for the second sentence, they say femicide is not in the treaty. Femicide is in the treaty because murder is under the treaty, and femicide is murder. That's not what's holding it up. So I hope that I explained that. I actually explained in a few videos that femicide is murder. It's the murder of a woman, specifically because of her gender, but it's still murder. So that falls under the treaty. On the treaty, they're not going to have a million names. They're not going to have infanticide, parenticide, genocide, sinicide, femicide. They're not going to list all the names of the types of murders that people have labeled. They're going to just say murder. And anything that fits or is actually an example of murder or will fall under that. Okay. It's kind of like someone's not going to make a whole list of every type of candy in the world. They would just put candy, and then anything that's considered candy would classify under that category. So that's the same thing. Murder is the same thing. Femicide is murder. So, and murder is in the treaty, right? So that's not what's holding it up at all. And that was kind of information put out by someone that really wasn't up to date on the whole progress of the case. Here comes the sad part. Mom Robinson brought tears to my eyes. Yes. Mexico nor the U.S. Anything about femicide not being in the treaty. Clarify, please. This has been going on way too long. Since November, nothing has happened. Well, I was expecting hasty and speedy as well until I saw that the Bruce Redmond case took a long time before he was extradited. It took over a year for him to be extradited and 7 months to be arrested under provisional arrest. So I'm already expecting a long process. The FBI and DOJ are slow.
Thank you. And now we're going to hear from her sister, Quilla Long, the sister of Shanquella Robinson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The death of my beautiful sister has been the hardest thing that I've ever.
Okay, well, she doesn't have to see the warrant to know who they say the prime suspect is. She can talk to them and they can know who the prime suspect is. I'm sure she probably already has a police report, because I was already told that the lawyer can actually come to Mexico and get the police report and see other information in the file. You don't actually have to see the exact warrant to know who's on the warrant. You can actually see some information in the file to know who the primary suspect is. And as the lawyer, most likely, if they gave her other evidence, they definitely gave her the primary suspect. And she specifically says Dajanae Jackson, and we all know from day one when he said direct aggressor, it was Dajanae Jackson. But that's the only one in the video that the family in this press conference and everyone has been discussing from day one is Dajanae Jackson. So we know who the aggressor is. Okay, so I'm going by what we all know in video evidence and what has been stated by everyone. We all know it's Dajanae Jackson.
Ever had to deal with in my life. I have dealt with death of a loved one in my family, but my sister's death is a different type of love.
I mean, Mexico nor the U.S. ever said that they could not extradite on femicide. That was the man on Nancy Grace. Yeah, that was him. And I wish he had never said that, because that spread misinformation. And especially when people don't know femicide is actually murder, just a different label to it. And usually that's for people that do research, so they can have like specific titles. They can look up a certain type of murder and be able to easily find it. But femicide is the murder of a woman because of her gender. So murder is murder. I don't know how many times I have to keep on explaining that. Great, I understand femicide is just naming the murder act as they see it. Yeah, the type of murder, so people can know, be able to search up or investigate a certain type of murder without actually having like searching up and seeing a million murders. Maybe as a researcher, I only want to investigate intimate partner homicides. And then maybe I only want to investigate femicide because a woman was killed by her gender. So then I can just search femicide. I will only get search results for femicide cases. And maybe I want to do genocide, so I'll only get research for that. But if I search up murder in Google, I'll get a million results. So to be more specific, people will tell you the specific type of murder they're looking for. And but it's still under the treaty because it's murder. So that's not going to be holding anything back. Let me play the sister's part again from the beginning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The death of my beautiful sister has been the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with in my life. I have dealt with death of a loved one in my family, but my sister's death is a different type of love. My mind have not been at ease. I have not been able to rest since October the 29th of 2022. I got the call of her death. I also was told lies about her death, and I witnessed, among others of the world, of a video of her death. This journey has been frustrating. The feeling of disheartened to our government. I feel like our government has failed us. Now we got to take extra steps and measurements as far as rallies, as far as press conferences, mailing letters that I feel like we should not have to do. It's been 5 months and something should have been done. That's right. My sister was the sweetest person, lovable, business driven, and respectful. She didn't associate herself with drama. Okay, so I feel like whatever happened or the situation that took place at that villa, she was trying to leave and they wasn't trying to let her go.
My Lord. Thank you, Quilla.
On this journey, we just try to stand together and
try to protect her as much as we can and fight for her because she's no longer here. She needed help then, and she needs help now.
Amen. Thank you, Quilla. No peace.
Arrest the Cabo Villas.
No justice.
No peace.
If anybody lose focus of why we standing out here in the rain, and they say it may not be the most ideal time to stand and do the press conference, I just think this rain are the tears of this mother and this family, and we'll stand with them in the rain, the sleet, or the snow until we get justice. And that's why we're going to go meet with the Department of Justice, and we're going to tell them they have the evidence.
Yes, that's correct.
They had the evidence on day one when we saw the video.
That's right.
But now Attorney Robinson and us are going to say.
And right there, he says they have had the evidence since day one when they saw the video. And what video are they talking about? Oh, yeah, of course, the one with Daejhanae brutally attacking Shanquella Robinson. That's the video that we saw. So he said they've had the evidence. So who are they looking for again? Daejhanae, because that's the video they're referring to from day one.
Tell them we got autopsy, we got witness statements, we got the Mexican government said they have already made the decision who killed her. And the only question is the President Biden and the State Department going to do anything about it? It's that simple. And we won't sleep until they do something about it. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have John Barnett make some brief remarks, then we're going to take a few of your questions. John Barnett. And what's your title, bro?
National Civil Rights Activist.
Have a great
National Civil Rights Activist John Burnett from Charlotte, North Carolina. Came all the way to be here.
And thank you, Attorney Crump, for being a strong male voice in our community. Thank you, Sister TAMIKA, being a strong female voice in our community.
Amen.
It was 1961. Malcolm X was speaking to an audience. And he said this, and this is the epitome of my sister Shanquella Robinson. He said, the black woman is the most admired woman in the world, but yet the most disrespected. So I wonder if Shanquella Robinson's name, I wonder if her name was Britney Spears. I wonder if her name was Barbara Streisand or Madonna, Jennifer Aniston. Can I keep going? I wonder if she had those names, would we have justice by now? Now, an old wise man told me, he said, Reverend Trumpton was told me, he said that James Brown told him you got to be loud and dramatic. So we sent some pink envelopes. Sent some pink envelopes to Mexico. We sent some pink envelopes to Joe Biden's office. I know he's seen those pink envelopes. I know he's seen them. It's hard to fight that color pink. So I'm asking him to do one thing. President of the United States, and all of those individuals around you, including our sister Kamala Harris, I would ask that you step up as well, my sister, and give us some justice for Shanquella Robinson. We drove here from Charlotte, and we'll drive again tomorrow. And we'll come back next week. Because I do know that the Montgomery bus boycott was not just 3 days, y'all. It wasn't just 3 months. It was a whole year. So what happens is when you bring all this energy together, this energy, this strong man beside me and this sister behind me and all of these brothers and activists that came in today, this energy is going to come together.
Oh, wait. So he said he's coming back next week. So they're going to do this again next week. Okay. That's good to know.
We're going to start boiling. And we're going to keep getting on your nerves until you give us justice. Can the church say amen?
Amen.
I said, can the church say amen?
Amen.
So I'm going to close it out. I'm going to close it out. Final words. I'm going to say this. I want y'all to repeat after me. If we don't stop, we will win.
We will win.
If we don't stop.
If we don't stop,
we will win.
We will win.
If we don't stop.
Great.
We don't stop. We will win.
We will win.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Burnett. Thank you for your leadership and stand on this journey for how many days, Sue-Ann? 125 days.
Yes, Sue-Ann saw the autopsy, and I think she has the autopsy, and that's something that was already, to be honest, that was already readily available to the family. Every time I called over there, everything was like, if you're the family, if you're the family, if you're the family, right? So that's how they can get things. And obviously, as the lawyer, she can go over there and represent them and get those things. So yeah, as a family, I said they said as family, you could get the police report, you can do the autopsy, and I don't know what else they got, but I do know that those two things they said you could get if you were the family, and you could also get other information if you're the family in Mexico, right?
Right. And we still haven't gotten justice. So we're going to take some of your questions, but I think Tamika said it best. Same thing we did for Natalie Holloway, Gabby Patina, and every other white woman who went missing, where we stopped everything in America until we gave them the dignity and respect they deserve. Well, we're going to stop America to get justice for Shanquella Robinson. And with that, we'll take some of your questions if you have any.
One over like, of course, you look at Ms. Bland. She was killed in Texas. She died in Texas. Have y'all worked to mobilize sororities, links, other black female organizations to also put pressure on the State Department and the White House to bring all that pressure to bear as well? Those, what, 500 to 800 to 1 million black women?
I'll say this and then I'll have Tamika Mallory speak to it. Roland, it's not lost on us and hopefully on anybody else that we're standing in front of the National Council of Negro Women, the oldest organization of black women civil rights leaders. And so Tamika Mallory, who is a great woman leader of this day, will speak to that issue, but we understand that question completely.
Yeah, so we, up until this point, this family has been very respectful of the federal government. I'm sorry. Up until this point, the family, and still at this point, the family has been very respectful of the federal government. They were told that something was going to be done. And so for the last several months, they have waited, believing that there was no way with the video that this would be stalled. At this point, after Attorney Sue Ann Robinson returned with the documents and the information and the research that she did there in Mexico, we can clearly state and begin to organize people around the idea that this is not a Mexico problem. This is now a United States problem. So yes, we will begin that process. Today begins is the beginning of a campaign that should include all of our organizations, whether they be from the women to the men to whomever it is, and not just black folks, but everybody in this country standing for Shanquella Robinson.
And then Attorney Robinson will say a brief word about that as well.
Well, to answer your question, Roland, I'm standing next to an AKA, and I'm a very proud Delta. So we're very much in the building, and we'll take help everywhere we can get it, because pressure is what is going to cause this case to be moved forward. So we welcome all the Divine Nine and every organization that will assist us in this matter.
And I think what Mr. Martin is saying, maybe we should be formal about it. We are going to write letters to the leadership of not just black women organizations, but all black organizations and all people of good moral character. So thank you, Roland Martin. Any other questions?
Have you had conversations with the State Department yet?
The conversations with the State Department, specifically the International Affairs, was that they have no information. They will not give information. That we could contact the American Citizenship Department, but they also will not have any information. So we haven't been met with any assistance on this side. That's why we're here.
Are you having meetings this week with the Justice Department?
I've already put in a call, and I've already it's started now. One of the things that my partner and our queen Tamika Mallory put a little pressure on, and it's fine. The same attention we go out and get when black men are unjustly killed, whether it's Tyree Nichols or George Floyd. Crump, you need to make sure we're doing the same thing for black women. And so whatever influence we got with the White House, they ain't gonna let me not use it for Shanquella Robinson. And so we're gonna be talking about Tyree and the George Floyd bill, but we're gonna be talking about Shanquella Robinson too. And that we plan on going to meet with them and give them the information, and we're gonna get that to them today.
To the White House today.
To the Justice Department today.
Okay, so he's meeting to talk about other cases, but he said while he's there, he's also going to bring up the Shanquella Robinson case. And again, I am happy that this is actually going to get way more attention because we have people that have a name for themselves on different social media platforms to bring awareness to Shanquella Robinson case. A lot of times when something happens, it can get kind of it is all over, but as far as people reporting on it, it's mostly people from, it's like Charlotte newspapers and media agencies. We want people all over the world, no matter what state, no matter the state, to actually be reporting on Shanquella. That will make it more like national. Hey Sharon, Red Lipstick Hustler. Or say hey Sandra. You've been here already, girl.
State Department will get the information today. We don't want to give them any excuse why not to do one or two things. And I'm sure Until Freedom are going to help us with a petition on this. One or two things we're asking for. Either extradite the killer and those who aided and abetted back to Mexico, or take jurisdiction of the matter. They got the power to do it. So they just got to act.
And Ms. Robinson wrote a letter earlier this week, and the letter has been sent to the President of the United States, the Vice President, the State Department, who else is on the letter, and Department of Justice.
Right, Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And International Affairs.
Yeah, and I get it. I know it's a lot of things going on in the world, and I know they're busy. But they can appoint somebody in the State Department to deal with this matter. They certainly did it with Natalie Holloway.
That's right.
Okay.
When exactly did Mexican officials announce that the case is closed and out when the U.S. officials?
It's not closed, right?
Well, it's not closed.
Well, their case has been submitted, and that was confirmed on the trip. That was the week of February 13th when I went to the.
That they submitted it to the U.S. State Department.
Have you seen the arrest warrant?
No, I have not seen the arrest warrant, but I have seen all of the investigative documents.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So we need to pay attention to this. It says has not seen the arrest warrant, but has seen all the investigative documents. Okay, so pretty much she has seen almost everything. Okay, besides the warrant. Okay, but obviously, if you see the investigative documents, you already know what the investigation has concluded. Because Mexico said their investigation is complete, and they're just waiting on the United States. Okay, so that's why she mentioned that the person, the suspect, is Dajanae Jackson.
Questions before we go? We're gonna take 2.
4 months already, and you mentioned like getting the president involved, getting Vice President Kamala Harris involved. What is the timeline? Should this be happening in like a week, a month?
Justice delayed is justice denied. It's been 125 days. If you got evidence on video of a crime, you know, y'all gonna make me go back a little bit to my when it was 5 black police officers who killed Tyree Nichols. 20 days. Terminated, arrested, and charged. Because you have video of a crime that you can see. It should be no different when it's anybody who commit a crime on video. You go arrest them. You charge them based on the evidence you see on video. You ain't got to speculate. You ain't got to wonder. I mean, she beat her literally to death. Literally. Literally. And so what more evidence do we have to give you, America? State Department, what more evidence do we have to give you? Justice for Shanquella Robinson now.
Right.
Okay.
Has the person been identified, the one that needs to be extradited?
Yes. Yes.
Daejhanae Jackson.
Is the family going after any other parties
Well-
besides this person?
Okay, the question was, has the person been identified on who needs to be extradited? And they quickly said yes, and it's Dajanae Jackson, which you already know based on a lot of number of things in this video. And obviously, that's the only direct aggressor we saw attacking Shanquella. And even after Mexico said they haven't concluded their investigation, they have still said there's only one direct aggressor on this. So, yeah, that kind of answers a lot of questions people actually had, right? About there being other aggressors, like people attacking Shanquella, which I pretty much knew there wasn't, mainly because there was only one arrest warrant. If there are multiple people attacking Shanquella, there will be more than one. But however, they have mentioned before, they keep saying it, that they are investigating others for a cover-up and omission, but I still have not seen anything come from that. Just the direct aggressor warrant.
Man, what more evidence do we have to give you? Justice for Shanquella Robinson now.
Right.
Okay.
Has the person been identified, the one that needs to be extradited?
Yes. Yes.
Dajhanae Jackson.
Is the family going after any other parties
We're,
besides this person?
we want to make sure all of the individuals who had anything to do with the murder of Shanquella Robinson be held accountable. And we'll keep you all updated. Press@beingcrump.com. We will keep you updated. The name?
Dajanae Jackson.
Oh, see that? All right, I got it.
How to spell it?
I got it. Hello.
And can you share the names of the other 5?
They're available online.
Yeah, and if you reach out to press@beingcrump.com, we'll try to get it to
right,
you.
no, but if you Google, all 6 names are very clearly there.
Okay.
It's there. It's there.
Okay.
It's very clear. Their pictures and everything are there. Yeah.
Where's her name at? Okay.
She has the names here.
It's Dajhanae Jackson. D as in David, E-J-H-A-N-E, Jackson. Common spelling. And you see her on video. What TAMIKA said and what Sheila Robinson said. You see the video. You have audio.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you hear her saying she won't fight back.
I just want to make clear that obviously the criminal justice systems are different between Mexico and the United States. So the person who's been identified by the Mexican authorities and has been identified in the video is Dajhanae Jackson. So it'll remain to be seen when she's brought to justice how that will occur. The other individuals, the travel mates of Shanquella Robinson, are Winter Donovan, Nazir Wiggins, Elise Hyatt, Malik Dyer, and Khalil Cook. Those are the people who traveled with her to Mexico.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
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 Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, everybody. We'll keep you all updated.
Excuse me. You just don't understand. I'm retired military, and I've never in my life seen no crap like this.
Well, thank you,
But
sister.
I'm also here because I'm a sister and I'm alive.
Amen.
And Michael Jordan has been on my list. I have also been suffering because of what he has done. You want to give black women a chance? I'm here.
Thank you.
Michael Jordan, give me my money now.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, so that person tried to start off like with something like they were trying to be a part of this movement, then they just try to hijack this movement and talk about something irrelevant or something else, a different cause. I don't know what their agenda was, but let me go back for a second.
All right, I got it.
How to spell it?
I got it. Okay, I got it. Hello.
And can you share the names of the other 5?
Yes.
Dajhanae Jackson.
Is the family going after any other parties
We,
besides this person?
we want to make sure all of the individuals who had anything to do with the murder of Shanquella Robinson be held accountable. And we'll keep you all updated. press@beingcrump.com. We will keep you updated. The name?
Dajanae Jackson.
I see that. All right, I got it.
How to spell it?
I got it. Okay, I got it. Hello.
And can you share the names of the other 5?
They're available online.
Yeah, and if you reach out to press@beingcrump.com, we'll try to get it to
right,
you.
no, but if you Google, all 6 names are very clearly there.
Okay.
It's there. It's there.
Okay.
It's very clear. Their pictures and everything are there. Yeah.
Where's her name at? Okay,
She has the names here.
it's Dajanae Jackson. D as in David, EJHANE Jackson. Common spelling. And you see her on video. What TAMIKA said and what Sheila Robinson said. You see the video. You have audio.
That's right.
I mean, you hear her saying she won't fight back.
I just want to make clear that obviously the criminal justice systems are different between Mexico and the United States. So the person who's been identified by the Mexican authorities and has been identified in the video is Daejhanae Jackson. So it'll remain to be seen when she's brought to justice how that will occur. The other individuals, the travel mates of Shanquella Robinson, are Winter Donovan, Nazir Wiggins, Elise Hyatt, Malik Dyer, and Khalil Cook. Those are the people who traveled with her to Mexico.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
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 Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, everybody. We'll keep you all updated.
Okay, Kendall says, how do I send this video to my Connecticut news? Malik lives in Connecticut. DJ has family in Connecticut. Please give me some direction. Well, I don't know all the local Connecticut news sources, but you basically just go to any website that you see, like for media agencies, and you would go to the bottom of their webpage. Usually it will say, send a news tip or email us or contact us. And that's how you can, like, usually it's like a news tip. So then you would just tell them about this information. And if you're in Connecticut, you will say that maybe 2 of the suspects have origins from Connecticut, right? So that's something you can add to your piece. Even if you did not do that, you can still tell any news agency about that, okay? And you could just send them information about it and then just send them a couple links. If you actually want to send this actual video, I can post a link to the actual video in the chat and you can send that. But pretty much you can also just send any news article that's talking about the case. But if you want the specific video, I can actually send you the link to it, okay? I'll post a link in the chat in just a moment.
Nation's capital this evening, starting on Live at 5. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Brandon Hamilton, WBTV, on your side.
Okay, is there a sentencing difference between aiding and abetting versus accessory after the fact? I don't know. To be honest, you can't. It's not a one size fits all. It depends on the judge and how things go. But based on my, I don't know 100%, but I think aiding and abetting is more like being an accomplice, like you're aiding in the commission of the crime, or you're like, you're aiding in it, like assisting in it in some kind of way, or like inciting it, encouraging it, or something like that. Is more of accomplice kind of thing. And then the accessory is like you, and then aiding and abetting is like you were present at, an accomplice, like you were present at the time of the crime scene. Like when the crime occurred, you were actually present in the room. Accessory is usually like you're probably not present, but you assisted before the crime was committed, or you, that's for accessory for the fact, or you assisted after the crime was committed, like after the fact, like somebody being like a getaway driver or coming to like, oh, I just murdered someone. Now you're going to help me. Please help me bury this person or like fix this crime scene. So then that person would come accessory after the fact, but they were not present at the time of the crime, but they came after the fact or before the fact, or aided and abetted, which is they were actually present, or accomplice, they were actually present. Okay. If my memory serves me well. Okay. It was great. Okay, I already read that one. Okay, so the next one we're going to watch is the lawyer a few days ago discussing how her trip to Mexico. So let me bring that up. Hold on.
Been on your side, reporting every turn with this story, from Mexico's investigation to the FBI's involvement with the case. A lot to unpack. Here's what we know so far. Mexican authorities say they've identified one, quote, direct aggressor in Robinson's death. They've also issued their own arrest warrant, asking U.S. authorities to extradite that unnamed person back to the country. On the U.S. side, little information has been released. The FBI only saying in a recent statement to WBTV their investigation is ongoing. Well, today we've learned the next steps for the Robinson family. We're also hearing from their attorney for the first time.
WBTV's Brandon Hamilton broke this story back in October. He has been on top of every new development and joins us now live from the FBI field office in Charlotte. And Brandon, it has been 4 months. Where do things stand right now?
Well, Molly, Sue Ann Robinson, who is representing Shanquella Robinson's family, just got back from Mexico conducting her own independent investigation. She tells me now is about pressuring the American government to do their part to move this case along. Shanquella Robinson's family says in the 4 months since her death, there have been no real answers.
It's time for our government to kind of do their part so that the people who are responsible for this crime can be brought to justice.
The Mexican.
Yes, that's why when I try to share articles, I try to share Brandon's articles, right? When I try to share his articles to the petition. So it'll go towards him. Brandon Hamilton been there since day one. Yep, he has. Hey, Gotta Take 5. Good afternoon. Yes, hashtag Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yes, Auntie, yes. Just asked in an email to Vice President Harris. Yes. Okay. Make sure y'all smash the like button so to get this video into the algorithm. So 5 of the Cabo Villas could be charged with both, and 1 charged with accessory after the fact. Yes, possibly. We don't know. We don't know what Nazir's part in it is. As far as after the fact, people have to actually come to the scene and just knowingly help cover it up. Okay, if he just tried to help her and then he actually cause any further injury, it would be more of a negligence. So it actually won't be a charge. It won't be a charge on that. It'll just be negligence, and he could actually be sued. Okay. But in this conference, one thing I want to notice is that they're saying, even though they've seen the file and they've seen evidence, that they're still focused on, even in this video, they're focused on the primary suspect. They do mention others, anybody responsible, but they don't want to give names or anything like that. So to me, it's still focused on one suspect for now. And that they have named the person as Dajanae Jackson, which we already figured that out already. Thank you, because it's too quiet over here. We need justice. Yes, justice. Please, we have to do something. Yes, hopefully so. This will get more attention, and more attention means more pressure applied and more foot on necks. Finally, I'm happy for the family. Yes, it's great that they have a support system. I like how he put all the names out there. Yeah, they've been actually putting the names out since day one. Shanes.org/Shanquella. That's the petition information. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up this video, and then we're going to be out of here.
For our government to kind of do their part so that the people who are responsible for this crime can be brought to justice.
The Mexican government believes the crime centers around one, quote, direct aggressor. Last month, Mexican AG Daniel De La Rosa Anaya announced his office is working with the U.S. government to extradite that unnamed person. As of Wednesday, there have been no arrests. Robinson represents Shanquella's family. She says because of the back and forth between both governments, she decided to go to Cabo, Mexico. On the ground, she says, they received no help from the consulate.
Once we got to the Attorney General's office, we did get more information, more assistance, very open. The Mexican Red Cross indicate that when the paramedics arrived, she was already non-responsive.
Their next step is going straight to our nation's capital.
Okay, so it looks like she said that when she got to the state attorney's office, probably for Daniel De La Rosa Anaya, that's probably, to be honest, where she got a lot of information from, like she said. Yeah, so we'll see. Hold on, let me go back 1 second. A lot of times these news videos, they say stuff and it's like even like one sentence can contain a lot of information that needs to be like dissected a little bit.
Says in the 4 months since her death, there have been no real answers.
It's time for our government to kind of do their part so that the people who are responsible for this crime can be brought to justice.
The Mexican government believes the crime centers around one, quote, direct aggressor. Last month, Mexican AG Daniel De La Rosa Anaya announced his office is working with the U.S. government to extradite that unnamed person. As of Wednesday, there have been no arrests. Robinson represents Shanquella's family. She says because of the back and forth between both governments, she decided to go to Cabo, Mexico. On the ground, she says, they received no help from the consulate.
Once we got to the Attorney General's office, we did get more information, more assistance, very open. The Mexican Red Cross indicate that when the paramedics arrived, she was already non-responsive.
Okay, so once they got to the state attorney's office, Mexico, which is for Daniel De La Rosa Anaya, they were more open and cooperative, and that's probably a lot, obviously, just like Daniel De La Rosa Anaya actually went on to Gerardo Zuniga's channel before and had an interview. So obviously, once she got to the state attorney's office, she got more information kind of in the same way, like it was more cooperation. And then the second part, she says that she spoke to the Mexican Red Cross and that they stated that by the time they got there, she was Shanquella was already unresponsive. Yeah, so she was already unresponsive. Now, they did not say she was deceased. They said unresponsive. Okay. Yeah. And remember, I already know who the two people are for the two paramedics. I posted the picture already, but let's go ahead and continue on with the video. It's only like a minute left.
Their next step is going straight to our nation's capital. Friday, Shanquella's family will join National Attorney Ben Crump and activist TAMIKA MALLORY. The goal, to get the attention of top politicians, including President Joe Biden.
United States authorities there has to be some sort of high-level diplomatic intervention. And I talk about that, and the best example I could use is Brittany Griner's case, where it takes a very high level of diplomatic intervention to deal with a case where you're dealing with two foreign governments that have to agree on something.
Accountability, she says, and the hope justice comes soon for Shanquella's family.
It's been 128 days now since Shanquella lost her life in Mexico, since she was murdered in Mexico. And the people who were around her in her last moments sleep in their beds every night, comfortable.
Okay, I was on mute and I didn't even know it. Okay, I'm not gonna I'll go ahead and explain it in this video, but from now I'm just gonna give a reference point. I've already discussed this, that on Nancy Grace, on that day, Nancy Grace and her panel, I think he was like a previous worker somewhere, I can't remember, but he said that he's speculating Speculating means that the person is not for sure because they're not on the case. He's not a part of this case. He doesn't know exactly what's happening with the case. So he said speculating, that means it was a guess. Okay. So a guess. And at that time in that video, Nancy Grace did not even know that it was Atlas luxation. She said, what is it called? Like, what is it called? And then he was also asking for information. That told me that they went live and they reported on something that they had no updated information on. They did not go and like say, hey, what was the latest information from the FBI and Department of Justice? Because in that, he said, oh, once it progresses, she will be assigned a U.S. attorney at the Department of Justice. And I was like, it has already progressed, but he didn't know it had progressed. So once it had progressed and she was assigned a U.S. attorney at the Department of Justice, and she was also assigned a victim advocate at the Department of Justice, that means that it had already been accepted as to move forward to now the Department of Justice and the FBI were now collaborating. It was okay through the Office of International Affairs. Okay, so that was misinformation. And just because someone's considered an expert and they bring them on a panel, if that person is not up to date on the current information, if that person that person says they're speculating, that means they're guessing. Now theirs would sometimes be like an educated guess, but they're just guessing. He didn't even know what the charge was. He said, what is she charged with again? What was she charged with again? He didn't even know. So that's how misinformation spreads and things like that. So I encourage everybody reporting on this before you come to the mic, at least try to get the latest update from the FBI to what's happening. Like one person reported that the case was closed, but it's not closed, it's ongoing. So make sure you're getting the latest update before you and that's for Nancy Grace, any expert, anybody really. Next step is this: once this is approved, and that the next step is already in progress, that means the person they're behind, they're not up to date. What he said would happen next was already happening. That's how I knew he wasn't up to date.
And Jamie Molly here at the FBI Charlotte field office. Again, I'm told their investigation is ongoing. Now, as far as the State Department, I did reach out for comment on this particular story, but as of this evening, I have not heard back. We're live in Charlotte. Brandon Hamilton, WBTV, on your side.
Brandon said this before. We'll say it again. You've kept up with this story every step of the way. Great reporting, as always. Thank you. Jamie.
The last Nancy Grace video was a while back. I actually did commentary on it. And actually, when I did commentary on it, I actually stated that they're not updated. They don't have updated information. Like if someone tells you that after you complete this step, you'll be at this level. And then you're like, I'm already at that level. And then it's because the reason they don't know is because they never checked on you. They're not updated. So they don't know you already progressed to the next level. This had already progressed to the next level. He's still talking about the beginning phases. So that's why I said it was inaccurate information. Where is Shanquella's father, Mr. Bernard Robinson? I'll just say I'll send him the video of the event. That's all I'll say on that. Okay. You are muted. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Just want to add, to be unresponsive is to be unconscious. You could be dying or deleting, but it's significant that they are using the term unresponsive. That's not true. You don't have to be, that's not true that someone unresponsive, that means you're unconscious. There is different meanings for someone to say that someone is unresponsive. That means the person could be, someone could actually be in the state of Atlas luxation, which she had. And how do I know she had Atlas luxation? Because they did an autopsy on her and they said that she had Atlas luxation. And we have Atlas luxation, you become unresponsive because you cannot move. And you also cannot speak. So then people can say you're unresponsive. If someone is deceased, most people don't use the term unresponsive. They use the term deceased. That she was no longer with that, they'll use some kind of word to say the person is gone. If the person is unresponsive, somebody can be unresponsive, but still not, they can still be conscious, but just not responding to you. Crump is a civil rights attorney. He will more than likely sue the villa, doctor malpractice, and the police for not doing a proper investigation and allowing them to leave. Yeah. Yeah, he is more likely civil. And sometimes even might not get like that much money, but sometimes people actually sue the people involved for like wrongful death or something. They will actually sue other people as well. I will continue researching. I just wanted to see what others thought about it. Oh, I wasn't talking about you doing the research. I'm saying the creator and the experts in the panel. Like you as a subscriber, do you have a channel? You as a subscriber or a viewer, you are like a consumer. Like you go to a channel or you watch someone and you just like listen to what's being reported to you. Nancy Grace and her panel, it was their obligation or their responsibility, should I say, to actually, before going live to talk about Shanquella, to get the latest update from the FBI, the latest update from any source, and then come to the mic. Okay. And also at least know her cause of death. Like say, what was her cause of death? That should be like snap. Like you should know that. Right. And then when she asked the guy, she said about what's taking so long. He said, what was she charged with again? He didn't even know that. That's like the top thing that has been discussed for the whole time. Femicide, but they say feminicide or whatever how they said. So how could he not know that? He was coming to the mic without doing his research. So I wasn't talking about you, Gigi. I'm talking about them having a panel and not doing research, and that puts out misinformation. And they were like, well, once it gets past that, and then they have the right terminology, the right word usage, and then she'll be assigned an attorney at the U.S. At the Department of Justice. And I'm like, well, she already has one there. So it has progress past that point. Dani, you're doing a real good job. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Ruby Lee. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't clear about that. What's the eyes open or what? Hold on 1 second. Where is it? Erica, thank you. Shout out to Erica for the Cash App. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting my channel. Yes, Auntie, yes. Thank you for supporting my channel. Everybody else, go ahead and hit the like button. That's how you can support my channel. By just hitting the like button. And what else did I have to say? Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Hit the like button if you haven't already, your notification bell, and subscribe. Yes. So pretty much, I probably won't be on anymore. I am going to take a little bit of a break, and I most likely won't. Well, on this channel, shall I say, until I don't know when. But I will be check my community tab because I will be sharing other people's content. Unless something crazy comes up, because sometimes if I might actually get on the panel. I don't know. Wait, hold off on that, because I actually enjoyed having a panel the other day. When Shell came up, I think it was, Shell came on my panel, and then I think it was Lisa and then also Tanya. Okay. I actually enjoyed that, right? And I think some other people enjoy having a panel too, the audience, right? So I actually might just do something laid back. And what I mean by laid back is we just have a panel and we just talk about the case and the new information that we have been presented with, because now we have new information, right? So new information. Now get this, y'all. This is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. Since information has been put out there by Mexico, I don't think it's by accident. Nope. And then since Sue Ann has this information, she has already leaked some of the information just in this press conference. She has leaked some of the information. And what I know is that a lot of people gossip. So to me, things are going to spread. I'm gonna have my ears perked up. So I think that a lot of things will be leaked from that what's there. And sometimes that happens when it's leaked, is because it's just that one person tells another, and another person tells another, and then next thing you know, it just spreads. Ooh. How can you make the determination that someone is unresponsive but not unconscious if they can't move or speak? The way I would encourage you probably to look at, some people don't believe Nazir, so I really won't believe his statement. But he said that Shanquella was trying to get words out. So she was trying to talk, but she could not talk. He also said her eyes were open. The doctors, in her statement, she said that Shanquella had poor verbal or poor communication. So usually that when somebody's trying to communicate, but it's poorly, so you can't really understand what they're saying. So that says to me that she was trying to communicate to not only Nazir, but the doctor too. Okay, so that's why I said that. Now, when the paramedics came, I don't know what they're describing as when they came that she was unresponsive. Okay, I don't know their condition. A reason I can't say is because they only state that it's unresponsive. They're not giving me any more details. The doctor's statement is giving details. She's saying like poor verbal and this and that and faint breathing. Nazir is saying eyes open and can't get words out. Those are showing like someone with the state of alcoholization. The paramedics just saying non-responsive or unresponsive. That's not enough information for me to gauge on her status. Okay. So I can't really answer that one for that. But usually some people are unresponsive because they can actually be, someone can actually be sitting up in the chair, like literally sitting up in the chair, and their eyes are open, and then I think is it catatonic? I might have to look this up. I think it's catatonic. They can actually be in the chair, their eyes open, they're breathing, but they're just like in a stupor. They're like just stuck in that spot. They're not even paralyzed. They're just looking forward, and then they're just not talking or communicating. A person will say that person is unresponsive because they're not really engaging with you. They're not talking to you. They're not looking at you, or they're not looking around. But they're definitely not deceased because they're breathing. They're still alive. They're just not responding to you. Keyword: they're not able to respond to you. Now, to what level or what extent, I don't know. But that person won't be responding to you. So then it's like unresponsive. Usually when somebody's deceased, they don't really say that, use that terminology, but that's not set in stone now. Not set in stone. Let's see if Winter and Elise will still be out here party, and now that case is moving forward. What I do pick up on is that they keep on saying Cabo 6, but they keep on saying Cabo 6, but their main message is to get Daejhanae. So I pick up on that too. Like even after Sue Ann has saw some of she saw the evidence, right? She's still like pushing for Daejhanae. If it was something in the evidence that showed somebody else being like all the way like really involved to the level of Daejhanae, she'll actually be like saying something else, not just saying Daejhanae. So there's still a strong focus towards Daejhanae. So that's why I believe that the others will I will have to actually look at the treaty between the U.S. and Mexico and see what they can actually be charged with it. And they said that, we'll look into who was a part of cover up and omission, right? But now that I think about it, the U.S. and Mexico treaty might not cover those others like smaller charges, right? So if it's not under the treaty, then how can Mexico actually charge them? Now they could charge them in Mexico, but they would have to be, that would only be like a foreign warrant. So that means that they would actually have to go to Mexico on their own, and then they'll be arrested. And obviously, who would do that? I would just avoid Mexico forever, right? As far as being extradited, it has to be under the U.S.-Mexico treaty, extraditable offense. So I would have to look to see what is extraditable offense that they could possibly charge with. If nothing, then to be honest, they won't be able to be extradited for those things, which is probably why no charges have been brought forth for the others for Mexico. And that could be just like something just to throw in the air and not actually follow through with, right? Now, on the other hand, the U.S. could invoke extraterritorial jurisdiction, and I don't know if then they could actually charge them themselves charge them over here for whatever crime they can foot the bill, because we have more things over here that it doesn't have to be extradited. They can be charged with like accessory before the fact, accomplice, aiding and abetting, accessory after the fact, right? Oh, thank you so much, Truly Blessed Hunter, for the super sticker. Yes, Hunter, yes, I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel, and everybody else just hit the like button. Hey, Shell. Yes, some more stuff will come out. Shanquella, I think that was Shanquella probably was about to leave, but then I wanted to leave. I don't know. It might have been expressed. I don't know until I actually see the evidence. Dani, you literally have more accurate and updated news, not speculations from retired individuals who really, Shay Hunty, catch that Shay Hunty, who really is interested in knowing the vast. Thank you, Dani. You're the best. Yeah, a lot of times, like with experts, we still have to make sure that they've done their research. Now, they can have a lot, because I love having an expert on my channel, like even the medical examiner, but the person has to have done their research on the case and know everything and know all the updates, information. It's like you can be an expert, but if you don't know exactly what case I'm talking about and what's going on with the case, and how can you give me information? You can give me like, so make sure you're updated. So he knows some information, but he didn't know how far the case had progressed. And that wasn't the actual holdup. And he knew this. That's why he covered his ass. And trust me, when you cover your ass, you will say, in my opinion, or he said, he said, what did he say? He said, this is my speculation. So he covered himself. He didn't say it like 100%. He said, this is my speculation. So he wanted to make sure that, hey, don't hold me to this. And obviously he won't want to say, I don't know, right? So obviously he has to answer because he's called onto the panel. The video with Nancy is up. It's the one that says Nancy Grills expert, why no arrest. Yes, the panel was great, and Lisa was very comfortable speaking with you. Lisa, help get more information, please. Yeah, I'm about to sign off. I'm not going to go through questions. I have another day where I'll go. I have a panel, and we'll just talk, okay? I'm sure Cabo 6 being notified that being Crump on the case now, anxiety levels are real high. Kendra, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate it. Okay, y'all are spoiling me this afternoon now. Thank you so much, Kendra. So shout out to Kendra for the Cash App. Yeah, now this is national. It's going to bring more attention to this. So they definitely will be like probably got like a little bit of a break from all the media coverage, but now more media probably going to be covering it. So the break is kind of over. Do I believe the doctor's statement? I believe that some things someone can lie and get away with, and some things people can't lie and get away with. And the reason I say that is because who else was there when she was working on Shanquella? First, it was Nazir was there like assisting, right? And then after that, the paramedics came. So whatever she was doing, there was still eyes on her. So if she is lying about anything, there's other people around to see or to say if she's telling the truth or not. Now, all I can say is that I don't believe I do believe that I do believe Nazir and the doctor that she was still alive but unresponsive. Please share and keep up the great work. Yes. Because a lot of times when people say that she's deceased, a lot of people are not really, to me, taking into account Atlas luxation and the signs and symptoms of it. So that's why they're saying that she was deceased. And they are going by the 15-minute timeline or estimated time of death. Someone will have Atlas luxation and die within 15 minutes. They're sticking to that and say that there's no way someone could survive. But yeah, that's another topic we will do, is talk about Atlas luxation. And I don't know if I have that same medical examiner or not, because I would have to have a translator for him, right? But if you actually see Atlas luxation and different people with it, you'll see it's not what it seems to be. They want DJ because they know once they have her, the case will be solved and she's going to rat on everybody. Well, according to them, they already have the statements from everybody. So think about this. Mexico said their investigation is complete. That means that how can you complete an investigation unless you have already taken statements from everybody? So they had to have taken statements from everybody involved already. And remember, Ivan, he told me that the maid, the concierge, and the chef was already questioned, right? So he actually told me that. So and then over here, we already know the Cabo 6 were questioned. So to me, if you say the investigation is complete for Mexico and you have the file, then that means that they've done they have all their evidence, like from video to text to everything, right? Trust me, if I think about it, if you say your investigation is complete, that means you have concluded everything. You have concluded who's guilty. You have included this. You have included that. You have included this. You have reached a conclusion. You can't say it's complete if you still think you need the answers to. I hope they get them all. Love to support a person doing a great work, because Dani can be doing anything in this world, but thanks for bringing it. Yeah. Thanks to everybody else for supporting my channel as well, hitting the like button, just showing up, hashtagging, and helping out with the whole movement. And soon, and very soon, we will have justice for Shanquella, and then we will be celebrating. And now we know Daejhanae is definitely seeing now that her name, because before they wasn't releasing a name, and so you never know. I'm sure she already knew she was like the prime suspect, of course, but now to hear on the news that her name is being mentioned, ooh, I know her manly ass is gonna have a hard time sleeping. Yes, hit the like button. Yes, their stories are not lining up. Glad it was mentioned that sororities will be involved. Yes. All right, y'all. Bye. Have a great day. And if I don't see you, most likely if I do a panel, it will be on Sunday. It depends on what others are doing, because I don't want to get into others' time slots. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye.